Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another episode of the best and the worst of the Halloween franchise. Today, we're concentrating on Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So, let's take a look at it. Folks, we just want to say thank you to start with to everybody who's kind of been watching these videos. We've had some terrific feedback. People seem to be really enjoying them. We're loving doing them as long as you love watching them. So we'll carry on. We'll carry on for sure. But first, Halloween 4. Frank, I know that this is the first Halloween film that you saw.
Oh, it's dear to my heart. This is the first actual horror movie that I saw in the theaters. My mom, brought 8-year-old me and my 6-year-old brother to go see Michael Myers in Halloween 4. And I told us on many occasions that she said, if it's too scary, we'll leave. If it's too scary, we'll leave. Right from the ticket taker all the way to the auditorium, she kept on saying that, and including when we sat down. And I had no idea what the hell she was talking about until the credits roll. And since then, I've been obsessed with Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise. How about yourself? When's the first time you saw Halloween 4?
I saw this in the theater in the UK, actually. It was came out about a year after the US in the UK. I believe it came out in sort of early 1990, I think. So you'd already had Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 at this
point. On VHS.
Yeah, exactly. But it came out in the UK, a very small release. I think Fox released it, I believe, over in the UK in the early part of 1990. So that was the first time that I saw it. And it was the last Halloween movie to be released theatrically in the UK, right up until H2O. So, yeah, it was special. It was only in a very small screen in the in a local cinema to where I used to live, and it was busy. It was full. I mean, there was probably only about 80 seats in there, but everybody had a good time with it. Halloween's never been as successful in the UK as it is across the US. Mm-hmm. So hence, that's probably the reason why we haven't had as many theatrical releases as you guys. But there's been new life has kind of been injected into it over the last few years with H18. So, we're all fired up for Halloween Kills. But we're here to talk about Halloween 4 today. So let's kick this off. Your favorite character, Frank?
My favorite character, everyone always says Loomis. From now on, I promise everybody I can't say Loomis because he's the favorite character by default. I'm going to say Sheriff Meeker is my favorite character, my best character. Because when Loomis comes in for the first time, is spewing his, lines about Michael and that he's come back, and Meeker says, all right, let's just go check it out. Either though I may not believe you, we'll go check it out anyway. And then he tells Dr. Loomis, how do we prevent the same thing that happened 10 years ago? And he tells everybody, this is what you should do. And Meeker brings out his riot shotgun later on in the movie. This guy is balls to the wall. He's not a bracket at all. This guy
means
like
business.
He'd rather shoot someone's cat out of a tree just to get it down.
I do miss bracket. There is, when this film first came out, I other than the fact that he moved to St. Petersburg, so he was sunning his ass in Florida. Other than that, I can't, okay, Annie died, but he was still old enough to be in that role, I guess. Mm-hmm. He would have been, 50 when this movie came 50?
Out. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So he could have still done it, but maybe Charles Cyphers wasn't really doing much acting around then. I'm not sure. I can't remember when he kind of retired, but it was disappointing that he wasn't in it. Obviously, it was disappointing that Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't in it as well. But Meeker, I think, is a safe pair of hands. He's somebody that's he's got a presence on screen. He's somebody that obviously can take control, and you feel you feel like Pleasence has got some good, solid support throughout this film. He's not somebody who instantly doesn't believe him and is kind of tossing his theories aside all the time. He gets, as you said, he says, okay, let's look into this and see what's going on. And I think for those two movies, I thought he did quite a decent job of as a really solid supporting cast member.
How about for you? Who's your best character?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm the same as you. I would have said Loomis, but we can't keep saying Loomis throughout this whole thing. I'm gonna say Rachel. I think Rachel
Excellent.
I think she's a really good, strong female protagonist. She does a great job of sort of stepping into Jamie Lee Curtis's shoes, which essentially is what she's doing. She's very similar to Laurie in a lot of ways. I think she's kind of smart, I guess virginal, can handle herself in a crisis. Why are you laughing? The fact that she's virginal?
Until cockblock Jamie stepped in.
She can handle herself in a crisis, and she's the protector. She establishes herself as the protector throughout
very early
on. So Rachel, I would say, is probably my favorite. I mean, there was a few, when you think about it, I could have chosen Mika. I like Mika. I think he's a strong character. Also, Reverend, what's his name? We'll gather at the river.
Reverend Sayers
or something.
Sayers, I think it is.
I've been hunting the bastard for years.
Reverend Sayer, Jack Simpy Sayer.
He's a fun character, and I love the fact that old Loomis gets the old bottle out and is having a good old snifter with him in the car on the way on his journey. But I think that's pretty cruel as well. When Loomis ends up getting snubbed by the girls in the car.
Oh yeah, being cheered on. Yeah.
They drive off and leave him in this big old dirty cloud of dust. When the bloke's already been blown up and torched and God knows what else.
That's when Loomis should have brought out his gun and fired at him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fire a warning shot. Yeah.
Fucking kids.
But what did you think about, because obviously at this point we're talking about at the moment, Michael's already out there. That introduction, that start of the movie, he's kind of lying in hospital, like bandaged up to the nines, like the mummy or something.
I think he's probably awake, even sitting there.
Why is he covered in bandages like 10 years later?
It's probably part of, they apply ointment to him every day, to help his scarring or something. And it's the bandages, as we see throughout the movie. Actually, we don't see it throughout the movie. It would have been nice if they just left him all bandaged up. And you could see,
I think so as well.
All the bandages become dirtier and deteriorated and start falling off. And maybe you get a glimpse of a side of his face, and then at the end he finds a mask. That would have been perfect. But that mask, that bandage mask, is creepy.
It is creepy. I'd have been quite satisfied if they'd have stayed with those bandages throughout the film, because I think what you get is, I know that there was rights issues and all that kind of stuff, but the Myers mask that we got, I think John Carl Buechler designed it. I think it's awful. I think it's one of the worst ones in the series. You know what it reminds me of? You know what Michael reminds me of in this film? If somebody were to create a kid's doll of Michael Myers, he looks like that. Do you know what I mean? He's got this kind of really smooth mask. There's no features on it. I know there's no features on Myers anyway, but there is at least kind of crevices and wrinkles and things like that give it that kind of, that give it a mystique in the dark. But with this, look at it in the top corner there. It's just awful.
Picked the worst one of it.
Too smooth.
His nose is very piggish, right? It's like stuck up.
Yeah, the nostrils are all flared and on display, and I just don't. The bit when he kind of at the beginning when she's having that nightmare and he sits up at the side of the bed, he turns his head and he's almost like smiling at her. It looks to me like it's smiling a lot of the time,
like Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
That coif, he's slicked back. It is, But it's the eyebrows that bother me of that mask, because it's almost like he's like, huh? Like he's surprised by what he did.
Yeah, he's kind of. But I think the George Wilbur thing as well. It's just kind of. It's fine. I mean, the movie itself, I think, is the third best in the series.
As a whole.
Yeah. But it's let down by George Wilbur's performance as Michael. I don't think it's that great. It's not the worst in the series. You know, it's the best of a bad bunch, I guess. You know, with the likes of his other performance in part 6 and obviously Chris Durand and whoever the other guy was now, I'm trying to remember.
Brad Loree.
Brad Loree. I don't know. He's too. There's the shoulder pads in there as well, or something that he's got.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just an odd kind of stance that he has. I think I remember an interview with him saying that he didn't watch the Halloween films and he tried to bring his own take on the character. Well, your own take wasn't that great. I know I'm shitting on one of your favorite movies now, but
it's fine. It's all opinions.
It is.
Well, since you're on this tirade, you know, maybe you could channel some of your negativity into your worst character now.
My worst character has to be Brady because he's a dick.
He's promiscuous.
I was going to say Michael. My worst character was Michael, but then I realized that I'd have to say Michael for every episode from now on, because I think up until H18, they're all pretty bad at the Michaels. Brady's just an arse. You know, I like Rachel a lot, and what he does to her, to me, is just a shitty thing. And he deserved to get his neck snapped. If you ask me.
He went with the easy girl instead of the wholesome girl.
Yeah, I guess so.
And the one who's
no sick of waiting. That's what it was.
Yeah, he went to the one who was fun.
But he does put up a good fight on that staircase.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so what about your worst character?
My worst character is actually 4 of them, and that's Earl and the mob. Not only didn't they find Myers, not only did they didn't find Myers, them and the group, they didn't shoot Myers, they shot poor Ted fucking Hollister. First of all, what is Ted doing behind the bushes?
Yeah,
first of all, it's kind of creepy.
Just having a pee or something, I don't know,
or somewhere or something. But they're just stupid, just really stupid. They don't know how to shoot anything. And, Michael kills him, rightly so. I don't like shit, Earl. It's Ted Hollister. Goddamn son of a bitch. You said you saw
none of them
Myers.
seem to be that phased after that, do they?
Well, they just came back from they just left the bar, didn't they? So that probably did. You know why did Meeker say, I could smell something on your breath, Earl? Why are you driving? If you really care about this town. Myers can't kill as many people as you can ramming into him.
Yeah.
Stay home, Earl. But you probably smelled Loomis's breath. That's probably all you can smell.
Oh, there's a lot going on there, I think. Rum or gin or something like that. Yeah. And not as bad as Halloween 5, but we'll get to that next time.
Jesus. AA meeting. Okay, so your best line of the movie.
Best line has to be... I mean, I could have chosen one of Donald's monologues again, and that would have been an easy choice. But I just think it's the line that makes me laugh every time is when Meeker calls Brady out and says, "I got you groping my daughter. I'll use that gun on you." That's my favorite line in the film. This is Brady's face as he. Yeah. But it was probably worth the risk, I reckon.
Yeah.
Okay, your best line.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do my Loomis now for this one, because this is the line that got me excited for this movie when I first saw it. Seeing Dr. Loomis say this: 6 bodies, Sheriff, between here and Ridgemont. That's what I've seen. A filling station in flames. I tell you, Michael Myers is here in this town. It is here to kill that little girl and anyone who gets in his way. That's it.
Hey,
perfect.
Well done.
Perfect. And it just that line. Meeker's like, I better entertain this because this guy's ready to go off. Loomis had a habit of explaining situations at the height of being bad, at their worst.
Yeah.
You know, I saw death. You know, I saw this boy. You know, we all know that line, and you don't think it can get any worse. Oh yeah, he saw a boy, but he was staring at the wall, staring past the wall. You're like, Jesus Christ, he's making everything terrible. More and more every time he says it. But it was that line in the theater when I saw it as a kid that got me hooked onto this entity that is Michael Myers or the Boogeyman.
Yeah, it really stands out in the trailer as well, the Halloween 4 trailer, which I think is a great trailer. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a short and sweet trailer. It's about 1:30 or something like that. And yeah, it really brings back the feel of the Halloween movies. And that part of that monologue that you're talking about was in the trailer. I think it's that he's here to kill that girl and anyone who gets in his way. And it makes that trailer. It's superb. There's less Cockney Loomis in this film. There's a couple of moments. Where he's obviously, you know, his British roots come seeping through again. And I think one of them is
more soft-spoken. Well, because he's 10 years older.
He is, and I'm going to get to that in a little minute. But there's one bit when I think it's just after the ambulance crash, and there's a number of people that have been killed there, isn't there? There's sort of, I think, is there like
four?
How many
four
bodies
EMTs,
are there?
yeah,
Four. Yeah. There's a line there where he starts to leave. He goes wading through all that water, doesn't he? And then he goes, you know, where are you going? He goes, Haddonfield, it's a 4-hour drive.
You know what? I didn't realize he'd said it that way. Thank you.
Yeah, he does. He's
perfect.
Cockney comes out again, doesn't he? If you don't find him, I'm sure I will.
Jesus Christ. Oi.
It is. It's Cockney Loomis. And there's another bit as well that really makes me laugh as well with Loomis and that. And it's when he ends up at the filling station and he gets out of the car. He's just like frantically waving his cane around. Hey! Hey! There's no one there. It's not like he saw somebody through the window or anything.
Hello there!
He's just waving his cane at nothing in just a maniacal way.
Imagine it, because you know what? It would be funny if Loomis can get things all mixed up. Imagine if he was waving his gun. If you don't look at me, I'm going to fire. It just shoots in the air. Crazy Loomis. So what is your worst line now that we've been taking the piss?
So my worst line, I really struggled with this one because I think the script is fairly solid. I think, you know, there's not too many dumb lines in it or anything. There's just a moment within the movie, whereas I just kind of cringe a little bit. And that's when Jamie's at school and the kids are ribbing her. And they're singing that song.
And everything.
Boogeyman. And I don't know, something about that just gets my hackles up each time because kids can be awful, can't they? And you know what that kid's been through, and what with her family and her mum dying and all this kind of thing. I just think that's that segment there when she's being teased. Not one of my favorite parts of the movie, and yeah, the kids are pretty nasty. So I just put that little sing-song bit that they have down as my worst line in the movie.
It's certainly something that didn't need to be in there. They added for effect of how much trauma this kid is going through.
Yeah.
Even at home, and at school. So no matter where he goes, people know that she's somehow related to the boogeyman some way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add into that, and I'm going to put what happened the morning of, and the whole lines between Rachel and Jamie talking about, double scoops.
Yeah.
Don't you want to go out and get a scary costume and get a whole bunch of candy? Dude, I'm gonna be like, bitch, you just said I'm not fucking worth being your sister, and you think going out and getting candy and going and get double scoops of fucking Haagen-Dazs is gonna make this better? Apologies not accepted.
No, I get that. I get that.
But it's not, yeah, but it goes to prove that you can reward kids of all the bad stuff you did or say to them by getting them double scoops. Double scoops. Okay, let's forget about everything.
So your best kill.
Oh, the kill that made me fall in love with Michael Myers is where he snaps the fucking neck of Brady. He gets on top of that landing, on the stairway, and punches him. Grabs his hand. I think he starts crushing it. He starts squeezing
he catches
it hard.
he tries to hit him and catches his fist, doesn't he?
Yeah, the second time.
Yeah.
And he just picks him up and just starts snapping his neck. It's fantastic. That is my favorite kill of probably the whole franchise because it's hands-on Michael. It's not a knife. It's just him using his brute strength. Yeah, and that's the time. That's the part where I fell in love with the franchise and the character.
Yeah, it's a good fight. He puts up a good fight as well
with the sound effects.
Yeah. That pop when his neck goes. Is, yeah.
Look, kid's a giraffe. So, what is your best kill?
My best kill is back to one of your worst characters, which is Earl in the truck when he's driving the truck at the end. Yeah, the throat ripping scene, which I think, and I think this moment was added in afterwards. I think.
Yeah.
It was a reshoot or something just to add more gore in there. But it's one of Buechler's, I think one of his best effects that he's done. Obviously, it's a fake prosthetic over the guy's neck, but it just looks so great the way he just tears it open.
The blood's just running out.
Yeah.
Because it's the jugular.
Exactly. A great old kill. So yeah, that's probably my favorite in the movie. I do like the thumb in the head at the start. That's kind of cool. And also Kelly Meeker, when she gets skewered by the shotgun up against the wall. That's a fun sequence as well. So we looked at, before we went on air, we looked at the list of the different kills in this movie, and I think they're all fairly decent. They're all reasonably good. There's
different.
Yeah, exactly. It was tough to pick a worst one, but I think there's. I think there's 15 or 16 in total. You got to mention Bucky as well. That's an interesting kill. What is it with the whole Bucky thing? Why is he? I remember there was isn't there like a website, like a tribute page to him or something?
Yeah, Justice for Bucky. You know what it is? What stands out is because people take the piss out of him because his name is on his hat.
Yeah,
that seems to be it. If they if he didn't have a name and they just made him a character, it would have been a fine. It would just been, they wouldn't. But Bucky, if they put like Mike, or maybe just says Haddonfield Electrical Company, that would have been something different. But Bucky out of everybody, it was just a joke.
Yeah, I like the fact that he thinks he's a bit of a wise ass as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. Halloween shit with me.
So, worst kill, Frank.
Worst kill is one that we don't see, and I wish we did, and that was Deputy Logan. It looks like his arms got wrapped around his neck.
Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? You just get that kind of ghostly sort of light on his face. And
his arm is up here, or his hand is up here. It just, I would like to see that, but I can understand why they did it. They did it for, effect.
Yeah,
Kelly lights the match for the candle, and she just sees his face, and Michael's there sitting in the rocking chair, and he gets up, and then that awesome score starts. And say, oh, he's in the fucking house. Well, we knew he was in the house to begin with anyway. But yeah, it's the worst kill is the ones that we don't see. And then for me, Deputy Logan. Yeah.
How do you, just talking about the score before I go on to my worst kill, how do you rate the score for this film?
It's good. It's above average. It looks like they tried to go back to the roots. But they didn't do the opening theme in the beginning of the movie. They kept it very like heavy on the emotion and just showed the landscape and how cold it is. I like that. And basically, I think the only time we hear the theme is anytime Michael is on screen.
Yeah.
That's the only time we see it. And that's fine because he's synonymous with that theme.
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite happy with it.
I think the first time we hear it is when he's being transferred, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in the gurney and they're rushing into the back.
Yeah.
All sopping wet. I mean, good Christ.
No, I like the score a lot for this film. And I actually like Halloween 5's score as well. I wasn't too keen on 6 with those kind of guitar wails in there and things like that. But yeah, no, I think Alan Howarth did a good job on this. You know, he kind of 80s it all up, if you like, while still keeping the kind of the nuts and bolts of the original movie. There was still a few tracks from the original movie I'd like to have seen done, but I think it's pretty decent. I think it's pretty decent.
What is your worst kill?
So my worst kill, and as I said earlier, they're all
nothing.
They're all good kills. They're all kind of well thought out and different, and you know, there's different levels of violence and gore throughout them. I think I'm not going to say they're the worst kills, but the lamest kills, I guess, are the guys on the truck. You know, he just kind of like punches them or hits them with whatever it is he's got. Was it
he matrixes it, right? He just bends over and
yeah, and, and he slings a few off the back into the road. You know, you just get a regular kind of stuntman rolling off down the street. Whether those guys died or not, I don't know. If you look online, they're listed as kills. But, you know, maybe they survived. I have no idea. So those guys on the truck are probably the kind of lamest kills for me. But still, you know, they're not bad. They're the worst of a good bunch, I guess.
Yeah, it's the reason why the title's the best and the worst of Halloween 4. You have to pick something.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So I'm going to put you on the spot again. Your best moment.
My best moment for this film, and I touched on it briefly earlier, and it's the gas station scene. From the very beginning when Loomis waving his cane around. You know, right from there, all the way through to the moment where everything blows up. And particularly the moment when he first comes face to face with Michael again for the first time in, 10 years or whatever. And that kind of zoom where they sort of rack focus into Michael's face and he's wearing the bandages. Yeah, that's one of the kind of creepiest moments in the film to me. But also what I really love about it is Loomis's tone in this scene. He's literally kind of on his knees begging Michael.
He's in a trance, right?
He is, yeah. He's just like, don't go to Haddonfield. And it's the calmest we've ever seen him, I think, throughout the 3 movies. You know, usually he's kind of screaming and shouting about him or whatever. But in this particular scene, he's, after what's happened in Halloween and Halloween 2 and the trauma that he's been through with the scarring and all that kind of stuff. I mean, and let's talk about the scars for a second.
The egg?
They've got the egg. Yeah, one looks like an egg, doesn't it? And I think over the years, as we've got like kind of HD and Blu-ray versions of this film, you start to see that it's not very good makeup, is it? It's just Play-Doh stuck on his face, isn't it? And we've said this before, that one of the, I mean, it keeps changing. It has a mind of its own, doesn't it? It just one of them even has a nipple. Doesn't I think in the picture down here, just there, that's not the nipple scene. But
no, it's not.
No, but I'll put it up. There it is.
But you blur it.
Yeah. I'll get dinged now. For nudity.
A nipple head.
Yeah. So it's like I say, it's the calmest and the coolest that we've ever seen Loomis in the series, I think. Literally begging Michael to not go through with what he's planning on doing. Leave those people in peace. God damn you. And shoots him and he disappears. So Yeah, that's my best moment of the film, is that kind of the reuniting of those two characters. It's incredibly memorable.
This was tough for me because I love this movie so much, and every part of it I know by heart. And it was the filling station that I could have picked as the best moment when they meet for the first time after 10 years, or who knows, maybe Loomis visited him now and then.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
I was also going to pick, Brady, but Brady's kill was actually, I put him as a kill, not a moment. I had so many to choose from. So I picked a moment where no matter what you did to Michael, he still got up. But Rachel slamming the pickup truck into him, and he flings forward and hits his head.
Headbutts the hood.
On the hood of the truck. But you could see Rachel's face. Rachel is totally different than Laurie Strode. Totally different. And she just sat there, revving the engine, looking at him, saying, "Die, you son of a bitch," and just, it was like, "I'm going to get you." And Michael's standing there saying, "Just bring it. I could take it." But that slam that it was like, Jesus Christ. And he flies into the graveyard, but as we know, he gets back up. But me, that's a defining moment. You can slam a truck into him she was probably going like 40 to 50 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And her being that protector, Laurie Strode and everybody else probably could have turned around that car and just left. Rachel didn't. Rachel just is like, "No, I'm going after you." And that's why it's such a shame that, we'll get into part 5 later, it's such a shame that she didn't continue. Because she is that mother bear. She is that lioness that takes control. And for me, that's the best moment that we're actually, if we don't have Loomis anymore, we're going to have Rachel.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have put Daniel Harris coming in at the end as being part of Michael's lineage and carrying on that evil, but it's not. I couldn't just pick that either because that was too easy as well. I had to get down to the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah, I wrestled with it as to, I think when I first saw it, I thought, where are they going with this? Is he going to partner up with her? Is she going to carry on? Is he dead and she's going to carry on? I'm quite sure I wasn't too fond of it when I first saw it. I think maybe if you'd seen Halloween, like you did, seen Halloween 4 and not any of the others, then it's kind of, oh wow, that's interesting. Knowing what all the other movies were and are, I think that's why I sort of struggled with it. I do enjoy watching it. I think it's good, and I love Loomis's at the end.
A little bit of Anne Ramsey there.
Yeah. What do you want? But yeah, I know. It's one I wrestle with now and again, whether it's a good ending or not. I know a lot of people. Our friend Sean over at Fandom Empire absolutely loves this movie and loves that ending. But for me, I'm kind of on the fence with it.
Yeah, you want Michael. You don't want Jamie.
Exactly.
But if they kept it with 5, it could have been a new slasher. There's other theories. Yeah, there could have been. There's so many theories you could, or movie takes that they could have done with part 5 if they kept the ending of part 4 as part of the storyline continuing. I know our friend Dave McRae says, Loomis should have just shot her.
Can you imagine?
Do that.
Do an assault on Precinct 13 on her.
It's terrible enough we saw Sunday in the closet dead. It just shot her. Yeah. Right in the red nose.
And we haven't spoken about her, but Danielle Harris. How do you feel about her character in this? In these 2 movies,
she did a fantastic job as Jamie Lloyd, as the little girl. She went through hell.
Yeah,
and she was a trooper, a great actress to do this.
Yeah, I agree. She was good. Uncle Boogeyman.
Fuck, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
To sum everything up, like I said before, Halloween 4 is my favorite of the Halloween franchise. I can't knock it. It's what got me into the movie, into the franchise. It is everything, including when you see all 4 Myerses coming in the middle of the movie. And
Loomis that's quite a cool scene. I quite like that.
Loomis is the first one to shoot one. Not even, and you know what? And he should, because he was going to shoot the Michael wearing all denim. Kill that guy for the fashion statement.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and to sum up for me, I just think it is a good middle chapter in this franchise. I do like the kind of Halloween 1, 2, 4 thread. For me, it should have ended there. I remember when I first discovered that Halloween 4 was going to be released, and that was not through the internet, because there was no such thing then, but through the pages of Fangoria. And my excitement when I learned that there's going to be a Return of Michael Myers movie. Wow.
Your hero.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like over the moon. And, I was content with what they delivered. I like it. And like I say, it's probably my third favorite Halloween movie.
Yeah. I think it's a top 3 on everybody's list, because ever since 2018 came out, I think 4, 18 are switching positions.
Yeah.
In everybody's ranking.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I can't go on about Halloween 4 anymore, because we'd be here for another hour. How good it is for me. It's basically all nostalgia. That's basically what it is. It's not the best movie, because we all agree that the best movie is the first one.
Yes.
And it follows in order. But there's a difference between best and favorite. But yeah, everybody, we're continuing. We're trucking through this.
And we have a special guest for our next episode. Our friend Dave is joining us. Dave McRae is going to join us to tear Halloween 5 apart. So that should be fun.
It's his favorite.
So that should be out in a couple of days. For those of you who missed the start of this, like and subscribe to this channel, and we'll bring more content your way. We like these little best and worst of shows. I think we can branch this out to not just the Halloween franchise. We can do it with other movies as well. So we'll get our thinking caps on and see what we can churn out after we've finished Halloween. Anything to add, Frank?
No, it's just that it's very fun doing these. Every time I see that we're going to be doing a Halloween episode, I get even more excited, because just like you, it's stuff that we know like the back of our hand, and it's going along. But like you said before, it's going to get harder after this one. But we can find it. We can find the best and worst into everything.
We'll get through.
We'll get through it. We'll get through it. But as always, stick to the roads.
And the best of luck.